And here to talk more about the severe weather and hay prices is Lance Zimmerman, market analyst with CattleFax. Lance, thanks for coming to the show.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, tell us just a little bit about how the severe weather has impacted markets in general this year for cattlemen.
Yeah, we've seen it a number of ways this year, Kevin. I think, one of the first ones that comes to mind is the liquidation of the cow herd. And throughout the South region, we've seen cow slaughter actually up about 25% this year, while the U.S. cow herd has maintained a pretty steady slaughter pace with last year. That being said, 2010 was still a year where we had record high slaughter over the last 10 years. We've also seen with placements, we've seen a lot of lighter placed calves going into feed yards, especially in those southern plains region. And that's come to affect the whole southern region, whether it's Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas feed yards. It's showing up throughout those states as the drought keeps creeping forward. I think the other thing that's really important is we look at hay prices.
Yeah.
And I know that was a big topic of concern. Now, as we've seen some of the ramifications of this drought and guys try to plan for this fall and winter, that hay prices have increased as well as the drought has affected available feedstuffs that were already tight after going through last winter.
I've heard a lot of anecdotal things about the hay market, but give us more information. How has the hay market responded over the last 30 or 60 days?
Yeah, the USDA just reported its August prices for hay across the U.S. And what we saw was that hay prices were actually up about 54% over August of last year, putting us at a price per ton of around $172 per ton. And as we look at these hay prices, of course, there's a big difference across regions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So look forward with this. I mean, is there any relief in sight? What do you see hay prices doing as we move towards the winter and spring of this year?
Unfortunately, we're talking about in the most extreme cases, especially through the West, the Pacific Northwest, down through the South, hay prices are already at $200 a ton or more in a lot of cases. Unfortunately, I think for a lot of producers, we're going to be talking about hay prices that are going to be in that 50% and higher range over the previous period. And that relief probably won't come until next spring, next summer, as we start seeing what our forage situation will be like with weather patterns next spring. I think the most important thing for producers to remember, though, is that there's still some opportunities to be resourceful. There's probably a $100 per ton price difference according to the data that we see across different regions. For instance, the Midwest, the North Central Plains have some really affordable hay prices relative to other areas of the country that might offset potential transportation costs and give producers some opportunities to look there for forage resources if they don't have them in their own backyard. Lastly, I think another thing that producers can look at is just being resourceful around their own area. With the drought, we've had a lot of corn, a lot of milo that simply wasn't able to be harvested. And so there might be some salvage crop opportunities, whether it's baling those crops or feeding them to cows throughout the fall and early winter months as well.
And that's probably the key, being resourceful. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
You're welcome.
For more information and expert analysis, visit their website at CattleFax.com.